Ya está cerrada. Evi, let me hear it. Con 3 candados.
Over 2,700 miles and 8 spots in the league standings separate AV Alta FC and Westchester SC. Vanny Clark filling in for Brian Kleiben on a red card suspension, coaching in his first American professional soccer game, while Dave Carton looking to move Westchester into second place by the end of the night. From sea to shining sea, it's USL After Dark from Lancaster, California. AV Alta FC hosting their first ever USL 1 match as Westchester SC comes into town looking to remain unbeaten this season. Josh Lill bringing you all the action this evening. And for AV Alta FC as of late, they've been even-steven in terms of their scoring production. It's a well-built team from back to front, but it's also a side that's looking to improve in their shot totals. Just 12 in their first 2 league matches. But stable builds in the back by Kalian Pelivanov and Christian Ortiz have translated into the success of Alex Cerritos and Jimmy Villalobos. Those two players combining for a third of the team's goals this year, and they were able to score 2 in the US Open Cup, including this stunner in the 120th minute, scored by Jimmy Villalobos. And how could our eyes not be fixated on Villalobos after his performance in that cup match? An interim head coach, Vanny Clark, spoke highly of Villalobos, stating he brings so much experience to this club. Last match, he wasn't in just to go to PKs. He wanted to get forward, and while the rest was history, they end up winning again late in that match. In Westchester, it's been a very strong start to the season for the New Yorkers, unbeaten through their first 4 matches, collecting points on the road in their first 2 league matches. But history's on the line, folks. Westchester looks to become the 4th team to kick off its inaugural League One campaign with an unbeaten streak of 5 or greater. But they'll have 11 days until their next match. So head coach Dave Carton is going to need one last burst of energy from his squad, who, crazy enough, are playing in the 3rd match in the last 7 days. And one player that can lead them to the promised land right there, scoring in the 3rd minute in their last US Open Cup match, Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. 4 goal contributions in as many matches for the Honduran international, who finished 2nd in the Golden Boot race last year. And he's picked up right where he's left off. And Dave Carton praised JCO, stating he's not just a scorer, right? You have his defensive work rate and his passing abilities, both of which are so underrated. And Obregon Jr. knows how to change up the pace, able to drop in and provide a numbers advantage for his sky. AV Alta FC eager to come away with a result in their inaugural USL One home opener. Whereas Westchester, they know that a sellout crowd awaits them. Unfazed, they look for road win number 4 on the year. The Empire State and Golden State collide. Starters and kickoff up next.
Insurance companies are not your friend. In fact, their sole job is to make certain you get as little as possible at a time when you need it the most. At the Paris Law Firm, we have a long track record of forcing insurance companies to pay you every penny that you're owed. If you've been hurt in a crash, call us at the Paris Law Firm so we can help you in your time of need.
At Edwards Federal Credit Union, we're proud to be the only financial institution born and raised right here in the Antelope Valley. That means we know what our community needs because we are the community. Whether you're buying a home, starting a business, or planning for your future, we've got you covered with the products and services tailored to your needs. From everyday banking to life's biggest milestones, we're here for you every step of the way. Edwards Federal Credit Union, everything you need right here at home.
When it comes to healthcare, you want all aspects of your care to connect and to work in harmony. Introducing Southwest Healthcare, a comprehensive network of care working together to serve you and your loved ones. Palmdale Regional Medical Center is proud to be a part of this new, expanded system. Our goal is to provide high-quality healthcare services that benefit you, your family, and our entire community. Experience health in harmony today with the new Southwest Healthcare.
And the first ever starting lineup for interim head coach Vanny Clark. So head coach Brian Kleiben and midfielder Mabumu Alassane serving red card suspensions this evening. It's an experienced center back pairing mixed with youth on the outer part of the line behind a productive midfield that features Jimmy Villalobos. Then look for Blancas Cruz and Alaribe to press high, but the ball movement in the final third needs to improve. And for Westchester, the former Jacks and Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. and Joel Johnson get into the starting lineup. And how about the Powder brothers, Samori and Noah getting that start on the left side, and Dane Jackelman getting the start in net with Connor McGlynn holding down the fort in that pivot midfield spot. And we are just moments away from kickoff. A wondrous 68 degrees, not a cloud in sight. The wind just 4 miles an hour to the north. Trevor Wiseman, our official. AV Alta underway here in Lancaster, California, looking for win number 1 in the league on their home turf. Westchester SC, again, looking to remain unbeaten in league play this year and across all competitions. Plenty of storylines here this evening in the Golden State. Josh Lill with you this evening, bringing you all the action here on the USL After Dark. So AV Alta FC, they're in their home Joshua Green kits with white letters and numbers. And Westchester SC in their white kits. They have that yellow stripe going down the side of their kits and shorts. And a collision here early on the right side of the pitch. And down goes Miguel Pajaro. And again, head coaches this evening. Vanny Clark for AV Alta FC. He's currently the Academy director for the club, but he's getting a shot to coach the first team this evening. And Dave Carton, the former assistant for Charlotte Independence, he knows about the high-intensity environments, and he helped lead the Jacks to the USL 1 final back in 2023.
Fans, in the interest of your safety, please be aware that soccer balls may fly into the spectator area and be dangerous and cause serious injury.
So much anticipation into this meeting.
In the spectator area.
A bit of early success for AV Alta. Talk about winning their first 2 US Open Cup matches, both of which coming against MLS Next Pro sides in Ventura County and LAFC 2. And momentum certainly with Westchester. 2 US Open Cup wins as well. Opening their season with a draw against Greenville and a win against Texoma. So early set piece chance here for AV Alta. Right at the edge of their attacking third. And it's floated and headed away. Good aggressiveness there by Walmer Martinez. Floating that to the outer edge of the 6. And early noise here from the home side. And a high press as expected from AV Alta. They're wanting to set the tone right away. Plenty of expectations around the club. Wanting to play on the front foot this evening. And it's a side that's very direct in their attacking abilities. They truly do play with a flair, I should say. But the key for them is possession with a purpose. Here's Villalobos. Back to Martinez. Early movement here, taking another shot and ripping that into the supporters section. And the 6'11", with their drums and all, having to be on early alert, a couple chances into the stands. But Martinez taking his space. And not afraid to rip that shot with confidence. Here's Dane Jackelman, an alum of the University of Pennsylvania. Most recently spending time with Loudoun United in the USL Championship, where he made his pro debut, recording 3 shutouts in 21 matches. And Westchester having a hard time controlling the ball here early on. The energy by this crowd, truly infectious. As Vanny Clark put it last match in their stunner against LAFC 2. He told me earlier this week, you really had to be there to feel the energy. But he believes it was the fans that drove the club forward, right? You know, contributing to them not thinking about penalties. A lot of times in those situations, when you play 120 plus minutes, you just want to save your legs, get to penalties, give yourself a 50-50 shot to win. And an excellent takeaway. Sebastian Cruz stepping up to change possession. But yes, Vanny Clark crediting the crowd for propelling his team to a victory in extra time. And Carlos Aviles in his green kit, not quite matching the other 10 attacking players. Aviles spent time with Central Valley Fuego last year, as you can see with his hands up right to the right side of your screen. Not so much anymore. Again, the first USL One player to compete for 5 different teams in the league. Laviles hasn't been tested. AV Alta has kept Dane Jacquemin on his heels. Here's Villalobos, attempting to feed it down the flank, switching the pitch. Here's the home side, Martinez. A double team in the corner there, Sebastian Cruz nowhere to go. Martinez with the thrown over, 100 USL Championship appearances since he made his professional debut back in 2021. There he is feeding it inside to Cruz. And again, Westchester holding strong here in the first 7 minutes of play. Dealing with plenty of deflections. And getting in the passing lanes, so crucial to keep this Alta side, who's so dangerous in the middle of the field. It'll be important to continue to push them to the outside. In Lancaster Municipal Stadium, just 70 miles north of downtown Los Angeles, it opened back in April of 1996. Originally $14.5 million put in for the construction of the 6,000-seater stadium. But then it underwent a $17 million renovation to become a soccer-specific stadium, as Carlos Aviles denies the Golden Boot runner-up and Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. having to step off his line to protect the net. So Westchester resetting here. But yes, folks, Lancaster Municipal Stadium, now a soccer-specific stadium. As the people of the greater Los Angeles area feel that the time is now for soccer in Lancaster. It's been all AV Alta here early on. Robledo's creativeness finds Villalobos. With pace to cross in, deflection. Wow! Less than 10 minutes in, AV Alta has just scored their first league goal in their first league home match. And it all starts with the creativeness of Harrison Robleda and Jimmy Villalobos. A stellar cross finds Emmanuel Alaribe. And he has his second goal of the 2025 campaign. Excellent positioning, sticks the legs out. And Dane Jacquemin, I don't know if he was expecting that acrobatic finish. And that was a key for Dave Carton, was to control the emotions and keep AV Alta out of the match early on.
Number 44, Kaloyan Pelivanov, goal scored once again by number 8, Emmanuel Alaribe.
And Westchester faced
AV Alta FC goal brought to you by
with an early challenge now. Possession right now, 60% in favor to the home side. We have a player down for AV Alta. It's Kaloyan Pelivanov. He started his youth career in Bulgaria. Debuted in the second division with FC Kumrovad back in 2022. Stepping up is Cruz. And an early press here, forcing Westchester into shambles. just taking in the sights and the sounds early on from Lancaster, California. These fans have waited for this moment. The city announced, or it was announced, that the city had earned the rights to a USL One team back in October 4th of 2023. So it's been a long time coming for these fans. Loaded in, kept in, and steered aside. Here's Payne. Here's Obregon Jr. And Bolanos. Unable to find Powder on the far side of the pitch. And Pelivanov set to take the throw-in. And Luca Mastrantonio picking up the assist on the Alaribe goal. Obregon Jr. trapped. Finds an escape. Back post, it's going over the head of Bolanos. And they're trying the long ball with the Westchester midfielder. And trying to get to the byline, hoping to stretch the defense of AV Alta out. And struggling to find success on that passing. And AV Alta have scored 2 goals in the first 15 minutes of the first half. More than any team in the league this season. Doing so against Richmond. And the injury report presented by Palmdale Regional Hospital. None to report for AV Alta. And Kemar Lawrence and Dean Gazen out tonight for Westchester. Lawrence going down in the first half of the match against New York Pan Cyprian Freedoms earlier this week. And Lawrence, a presence they're going to miss on the back line, especially that guy right there, Dane Jackelman. And Lawrence provides a presence on the outside flanks, able to move the ball quickly up in possession. But speaking with Dave Carton, they had an issue that had been flaring up in the days leading up to the US Open Cup match earlier this week. Their goal was to get him to halftime, but he ended up exiting before the end of the first 45 minutes of play. And in terms of Dean Gazen, they're hopeful that he'll be back sometime in the next 10 to 14 days. One of the keys that Dave Carton mentioned to me in the days leading up to the match, it's about staying humble. That was one of the things they learned in the second half against New York. As we have our first booking of the evening. And Trevor Wiseman not having any of what Eduardo Blancas had to say.
Yellow card has been issued to number 30, Eduardo Blancas.
Blancas, an LA Galaxy product. Both a youth international for USA and Mexico. Getting the start this evening. Already in Trevor Wiseman's pocket here early on. So again, Dave Carton mentioned being humbled is one of the more important things that can happen, learning that in the second half. The side was up 3-0 at halftime against Pan Cyprian Freedoms, giving up 2 second half goals. It can teach you a lot about yourselves. Right now they're going to be tested here early on. Here's Juan Carlos Obregon Jr., dangerous in open space. Here's Jonathan Bolanos to his right deep, and that shot deflected. So it's out for our first Westchester corner kick of the evening. And set piece opportunities so crucial. You never know how many you're going to be given in a given match. And Joel Johnson on the short side. Noah Powder, the Trinidad and Tobago international, the former NOCO star. Initial target was on that backside of the 6-yard box. His brother Samori ends up turning it over. Out in space, Villalobos. Trying to slide to keep it in. And good defense there by Westchester, as Rashid Tete was in pursuit. So you can kind of see the formation if you see Stephen Payne wearing number 22 for Westchester in white, higher up on the pitch. And what Dave Carton's squad likes to do. So you're gonna see them fan out. They want to push high. And that's where the trust of Connor McGlynn comes in. We'll see him along with Joel Johnson this evening, kind of in that pivot midfielder duo. Because by them staying back, creating that box with the center backs, it's going to allow for Stephen Payne and Samori Powder really take their space and allow for crossing opportunities. And Joel Johnson and Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. going up against a former teammate when they spent their time with the Charlotte Independents, Miguel Ibarra, on the sidelines for AV Alta FC. And Dave Carton excited to play against the former Jack. He mentioned that Miguel Ibarra is a Superboy. He said we're looking forward to seeing him. Again, such a bond created between those four players in the city of Charlotte. Sticking with the Jacks, Mike Jeffries, the current head coach for the Independents. Such a big mentor for Dave Carton. I mentioned the best advice that Jeffries gave him was never get too high or too low on a game or a result. And even in Carton's first match as head coach against Greenville, Jeffries actually texted him, not just stating good luck, but he gave him an important piece of advice saying, just remember, you don't win the league tonight. So Jeffries teaching him to take it one game at a time. Right now for Dave Carton and his crew, it's about taking it minute by minute as they trail here early on the road. And an unforced error there at the hands of Jonathan Bolanos. And Walmer Martinez, the Santa Cruz, California native, searching for a good lane here on the throw-in. Ends up giving it right back over to Westchester. Again, who are playing in their third match since last Saturday. Both teams had midweek matches, but if you look at Westchester, they had a tough road match in Texoma. Had to fly all the way back to upstate New York. Or the upper part of New York City, I should say. And then having to go cross-country on the road, and it's moments like that that may really make you think what kind of workload these players have been carrying over the past 7 days. AV Alta, though, seem to be rested after their midweek match. And in case you're just tuning in, folks, Emmanuel Alaribe with the lone goal so far for AV Alta. Back in the 9th minute. The assist was actually initially recorded to Luka Mastrantonio, but it ends up going to Kalyan Pelivanov. And that is actually the first professional goal contribution for Pelivanov. And back in Bulgaria with FC Krumigrad, helped secure their 100-year-old club's promotion to the top flight. Imagine that. 100-year-old club finally gets to the top level. And it's something Pelivanov will never forget. Paints cross in, finds Bolanos. Obregon Jr. so dangerous, and that ball just misses by a matter of inches to the right of Aviles. So a little something here in the 23rd minute from Westchester. Right at the forefront of it. See Bolanos, then Obregon Jr. Oh, and Daniel Bowman just not able to get a good foot. Stephen Payne currently has the ball, actually going up against a former forward Madison teammate in Jimmy Villalobos. You tend to see a lot of that with the new inaugural teams this year. Takedown deep in Walmer Martinez. Great job to dispossess there. Mastrantonio, part of that Union Omaha title last year. Again, you take him and Miguel Pajaro. You're talking about a very experienced center back pairing. Bowman and Powder play back and forth. Joel Johnson. Adewale. To Bolanos, back to Adewale. Under duress. Payne gives it away. Long ball attempt. Here's the goal scorer. Alaribe. Centers to Cruz. And a good job here, Rashid Tete. It's the little things you saw there. I mean, he stuck his leg out, and it forces Sebastian Cruz to really think that extra step. It's the little things that make the high IQ defenders who they are. And for those who missed it, again, Brian Kleiben on red card suspension for AV Alta FC. So that head coach vacancy has been filled by Vanny Clark, the academy director for AV Alta. Not his first venture as a professional head coach. He did so back in the Jamaican Premier League. Spent a lot of time with Limehall Academy, Benfica Academy as well. Started there back in 2011 and 2012 in that range. Also was a principal, played a principal role in Mount Pleasant Football Academy, and which started back in 2016. And speaking with Vanny Clark, I asked him, where did this passion for coaching come from? Well, he says he wants to see people improve. When you get to see people living out their passion, you tend to see the best versions of themselves. And he did note that soccer provides that every single day, competition within your ecosystem and your opponents. And for those who pay attention to the MLS Next Pro, Jamari Nolan just transferred from Mount Pleasant to Toronto FC2, and that is, in the words of Vanny Clark, one of his prized possessions. Here's Villalobos! Breaking the hearts of fans last week and filling them here this evening at Lancaster Municipal Stadium. My goodness, this stadium is rocking. It all starts with Sebastian Cruz and the cross here, and good things happen when you get to the 6-yard box. Jimmy Villalobos knows exactly where to be. And just a one-touch finish, and Dane Jockelman can't believe it. What an incredible signing Villalobos has been for this club. Just the second signing for AV Alta this offseason. A former All-American and a Division II champ back in 2015 with Cal Poly Pomona. Part of the runner-ups in Chattanooga Red Wolves in League One back in 2022. Was loaned to Forward Madison last year, and a big part of their side making a run in the Jägermeister Cup, as well as the league semifinals. Someone that's done it all and continuing to make his mark on this league at 29 years old. The assist being credited to Eduardo Blancas. That is his first of the year. Other side, Sebastian Cruz. Such a horizontal threat with his speed. Looking to knife his way through Alaribe, right to the chest of Jockelman. Bowman deep to Bolanos. It's no doubt that that's their game plan. He's had butter on his cleats this evening, unable to contain the passes. Getting lucky there with a deflection. As we near the half-hour mark, Westchester being stunned here on the road, as the immense pressure from AV Alta has just been too much for Dave Carton's squad. And what you're seeing tonight on the pitch really feeds into the philosophy of Coach Kleiben. And as Vanny Clark told me, it's high intensity, maximum effort every single minute on the pitch and in training. As Miguel Pajaro not in agreement with the call. And the captain went so far as to go on the ground and point at the spot, saying he cannot believe. And they're getting the foul call in favor of Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. Pajaro just putting that one past him, but it's a little bit hard to. As Westchester in great positioning here on a set piece. Powder and Obregon Jr. standing over the ball. Noah Powder, that is. Obregon Jr. That is the purpose of the wall. Getting the job done. Joel Johnson forced to retreat, trying to play for Powder in the corner. Acrobatic play there by Pajaro. And an acrobatic clearing attempt. Osvaldo Ley putting on all the tricks. Giacomin coming out super far to clear. Eduardo Blancas searching for that ball. The USL on CBS kicks off tomorrow with two former USL Championship title winners battling it out. Join us at 4 p.m. Eastern as undefeated San Antonio FC takes on Western Conference rival Phoenix Rising FC tomorrow on CBS. And again, for those fans tuning in, that match would be at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And San Antonio FC taking on Phoenix Rising. A well-timed run and good vision there by Eduardo Blancas. Just a little too much strength on that ball. And funny enough, you know, we talk about the evenness of Alta's scoring coming into tonight. The two spots that they had actually scored goals in the first 30 minutes of every single match this year had come in the 8th minute and the 28th minute. Tonight, they have scored in the 9th minute and 27th minute. I mean, when you talk about consistency, it doesn't get more accurate than that. Oh, misplay by Aviles, a poke. It's important for Pajaro to retain possession. It does so. And a mistaken mistouch there by Aviles. Not something you usually see from the 26-year-old League One veteran. Let's see if he can handle this one right this time. And he does so. And the fans breaking a sweat momentarily. Osvaldo Ley. Harrison Robledo dropping into the left of Mastrantonio. Hounded and defended. Samori Powder barely able to get it away. He gets the foul call. And you're seeing the passion that Alta is playing with. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Throw in here on the far side for Westchester. Just one shot on target, 2 in total. They've owned possession here. Looking to get on that scoring sheet. Blocked there on the shot by Bowman. That was Pajaro getting down. Putting his body on the line as captains do. To preserve the shutout for now. Noah Powder, defended by Robledo. Carlos Aviles coming into the season 4th among goalkeepers in saves with 246. Heading into the year, won a title with North Texas. Back then when they were in League One in 2019. And another one of those members of that runner-up side for Chattanooga back in 2022. And Joel Johnson dropping in. Dave Carton had nothing but high praises to say about Johnson. So there's his former teammate in Charlotte, Juan Carlos Obregon Jr., sailing that one over the head of Aviles. Aviles being tested here. Fair to say over the last 10 to 15 minutes or so. Been forced to make one save, but he's seeing a lot of action. Very much nearly had an opportunity to make a save against Daniel Bowman, who whiffed on an opportunity right around the 6. So this game very well could be 2-1. You're trying to feed the middle of the pitch. Alaribe coming back, resetting the tone. Robledo. Antonio has the most matches played among Italian-born players in the league, 5th most out of the European players. As Robledo goes down, shaken, hopefully not stirred. Robledo, such a big part of the game plan this evening. Serious challenge by Connor McGlynn. Ends up catching Robledo down low. And another one of those guys stepping into the pivot role as he is down again. And Dave Carton and his assistant coaches, a bit of a palms up reaction, hands on the head. And the young midfielder taking one for the team, stepping in that pivot role for Mabumu Alassane, who's on red card suspension. His performance so far here, as we near 40 minutes played, it's been a valiant effort. His side's been tested in the middle of the pitch defensively. The 23-year-old from Queens, New York, has not been afraid to step up in the spotlight. Wilmer Martinez had a similar opportunity in the early phases of this match, placing to that same spot, wanting to work to the left of Giacomin. But that's about where the 2 goals were scored for AV Alta. On that left center to left side of the 6-yard box. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. And tonight the seats in Lancaster pretty much filled up. Vanny Clark was telling me ahead of the match, we're expecting a sellout. And what a performance here on the fast break. Rashid Tate puts on the brakes, forcing that fast opportunity for AV Alta to a close. Master Antonio doing everything in his power to keep that ball away from Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. He's just one good touch away from cutting this deficit in half. In stride, Wilmer Martinez with a bit of a hurdle. If he can keep leaping over players like that, might be ready for the Olympics in California come a couple of years. Joel Johnson on the ball, who Dave Carton says he would defy anybody who says that there's another player in the league that has a higher level football brain than Joel Johnson. Somebody who came in to Charlotte as a wingback and fullback, transitioned to a winger. Here's McGlynn right to the heart of Aviles. Back to the point about Joel Johnson. Someone who can sense danger quickly, moves the ball well, doesn't turn it over. But he hasn't been able to test that man right there, Carlos Aviles. has stood strong up to this point. Over 100 starts in his League One career. As this ball will stay with the home side. Sometimes it's just nice to take in the atmosphere of a new fan base. And you're just hearing the excitement, the anticipation, and the hope within the crowd as Obregon Jr. goes down. And a booking there. Looks like Osvaldo Lay colliding with Obregon Jr. from behind. And a bit of a reckless challenge there as Obregon Jr., a defenseless ball handler. Westchester looking for some sort of opportunity. Last shot was blocked by the wall. Again, sailed right into the crowd. That one never had a chance coming off the feet of Joel Johnson. This is a bit of the pressing trigger that Westchester likes. As soon as that ball goes to the left back, that's when they know Jonathan Bolanos is ready to put the pressure on. Obregon Jr. going down again. And another booking, 2 consecutive to AV Alta. And the home crowd feels like there's a bit of superstar treatment going on with the Westchester forward. Sebastian Cruz getting his name written down in the notebook. And lowering the elbow. Putting Obregon Jr. in a little bit of a dangerous spot. You have to love the hustle from Cruz. But with player safety being emphasized now more than ever, you have to make sure that both sides have an equal shot at protecting themselves. And Trevor Wiseman checking the crowd of players inside the box. And backside, no dice. And right there in the thick of it, Sebastian Cruz, eager to get on a fast break. Master Antonio trying to body Obregon Jr. Aviles collects. There's a player down right at the edge of the 6 for Westchester. Obregon Jr. and Daniel Bowman going down to the opposite end to check on their teammate. And it's Rashid Tate grabbing onto that left knee. Yeah, we wish nothing but the best for Tate as he gets checked on by the trainer. Just not the sight you want to see if you're Dave Carton and company. One of the things that he really does praise about Rashid Tate is that he contributes to the great team atmosphere, the togetherness of Westchester. You know, a guy you see every night at that center back, but more than that, a player in Tate as a person. And we hope he's okay as we near stoppage time. as he's still getting looked on. The Westchester players gathering right now, figuring out what those next steps are. The stoppage time is 2 minutes. So with the injury to Tete, you have to imagine those 2 minutes are most likely going to start once we resume play. Here's Jimmy Villalobos. The heartbreaker, as we're gonna call him. And Tete, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, walking off on his own power. Great to see. And Trevor Wiseman having a discussion here with Carlos Aviles. And due to the injury, it's a drop ball. And we're back here. Tete waiting his opportunity to check back in. And a deep send by Aviles. Out retained by Westchester. So the Ghanan international back on. Both teams at full strength. For AV Alta, they're just trying to escape this match with no red cards. Brian Kleiben actually picking up not just a red card in the last USL 1 match against Richmond, but actually in that US Open Cup victory. And here's Cruz. Trying to hold the ball as long as he can, allowing his players to catch up. Opportunity here for Martinez. I thought he had an advantage on the run. A nice flick into the middle. Cruz cutting the field in half. Blancas thought about it. I think the crowd did as well. Attempt inside. Sent back. Mastrantonio. Pajaro. Nothing to it so far for AV Alta on this build. I'd rather be patient and wait for the right opportunity than make a costly mistake. Put Carlos Aviles in harm's way. Big collision on the far side. And Connor McGlynn to take. And the first half whistle sounds. And in the first USL League One match for AV Alta FC in their inaugural season, they come out with an exciting first 45 minutes, scoring 2 goals in the first half hour of play. And Westchester, their unbeaten streak in their inaugural season, on the line as we head to the break. And the goal scorers so far to this point, it's been Emmanuel Alaribe and Jimmy Villalobos, who have set the tone for AV Alta FC, leading 2-0 after the first 45 minutes. 3 bookings, all to AV Alta, but they've backed up their aggressiveness with scoring. Vanny Clark searching for his first professional win as American interim head soccer coach. And Dave Carton looking to propel his team to a comeback in the second half. Stay tuned for more exciting soccer.
Life is about making connections, and AVTA is your way to connect with the rest of the Antelope Valley. AVTA connects you to your friends, your family, local services and businesses, healthcare, even where you work. At AVTA, we make your connections possible. Get on board today. AVTA empowers mobility, getting people where they need to be safely, timely, and cost-effectively.
my way.
I can learn my way.
Learn for Life High Schools, completely free. Enroll anytime.
Toyota of Lancaster's Buy Local and Save sales event is on. Come down today to save big on hundreds of vehicles in stock. Cars, SUVs, trucks, hybrids, and more. We have new vehicles arriving daily. In the market for a used vehicle? Toyota of Lancaster has a massive selection of used and Toyota certified used vehicles to choose from. Drive with confidence in the vehicle you deserve. Bad credit, no problem. Toyota of Lancaster will make your vehicle purchase safe, simple, and fun. Shop online at toyotaoflancaster.com. Toyota of Lancaster. Buy local and save.
Back here at Lancaster Municipal Stadium in Southern California, 2-0 between AV Alta FC and Westchester SC. It's been an exhilarating first half of soccer. We've got more to go, but we've also got some great notes for you at halftime. And taking a look at the team of the week, coach of the week, Lee Wiedemann, who led his side to a runner-up spot last year in the 2024 season. A couple familiar faces from the matchup tonight. Jonathan Bolanos and Toby Adewale making the starting 11 for the team of the week in match week 4. Noah Powder and Juan Carlos Obregon Jr., along with Connor McGlynn, all gathering honors. And no names here for AV Alta FC. Player of the week, Lucky Oprah, coming over from Northern Colorado. He was stellar on their back line last year, proving that he can do just that here with Spokane. The new and improved Spokane looking to win the title this year. And while we have a chance, let's toss it over to the goal of the week, save of the week, and the player of the month.
To the near side, Ostrom now one-on-one to the back post. Arriving is Akov! A lovely volley, cushioned with the instep, and Union Omaha go in front. Louis Hale to make it 3 for Spokane. Velocity, it's saved. Rankenberg keeps his side alive. Who grew up playing club soccer 7 miles from Mount Vernon, buries it. Westchester is a soccer county. And it's a tremendous finish, San Antonio FC.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Are you wondering who belongs at Antelope Valley College? Let me introduce you to some students.
Dreamers.
Career builders.
Transfer students.
Working parents.
Veterans.
student athletes,
first-generation students.
In short, you belong at AVC.
We're here for you, so visit avc.edu and apply today.
And being honored this evening at Lancaster Municipal Stadium, the construction crew who were part of that $17 million renovation in 2024 that converted the stadium from a baseball stadium to a soccer-specific stadium. It's no doubt that this venue would not look as great as it does without the efforts and help of that amazing construction crew, and they're helping take soccer to that next level in the Antelope Valley. So news and notes from around the league. Nine USL One league clubs are moving on to the third round of the US Open Cup, and it just goes to show that the league is more prevalent than it's ever been. And no doubt, it was a sellout. It is a sellout this evening. 5,000 plus fans have gathered in the Antelope Valley to watch AV Alta compete against Westchester SC in the league's inaugural home opener. And Leo Castro, Carson Henderlong, Espinal, and Obregon Jr. have all been nominated for March Player of the Month. Obregon Jr. this evening leading both sides in shots with 3. And he's scored a couple of goals this year as well. 4 goal contributions in the 4 matches leading up to tonight. And taking a look at scores around the league, Chattanooga with yet another draw. Every single match, whether it's been the US Open Cup or USL One, they've finished even with their opponent. FC Naples continues to remain unbeaten in all competitions. And currently right now, AV Alta leading Westchester SC 2-0. Spokane and Portland Hearts of Pine evened up at halftime. And Portland coming off, and actually, excuse me, that is full time. So Portland Heart of Pine still searching for their first league victory. And then up in your top right corner, Greenville Triumph in a state-by-state rivalry, end up winning over Charlotte Independence. So plenty of action around the league. This is the nightcap in USL After Dark. And plenty of more excitement to come. And getting the scoring started, Emmanuel Alaribe and Jimmy Villalobos for AV Alta. Can Westchester answer? We've got highlights and stats coming up for you next. And an exciting 45 minutes to finish off the evening. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Insurance companies are not your friend. In fact, their sole job is to make certain you get as little as possible at a time when you need it the most. At the Paris Law Firm, we have a long track record of forcing insurance companies to pay you every penny that you're owed. If you've been hurt in a crash, call us at the Paris Law Firm so we can help you in your time of need.
At Edwards Federal Credit Union, we're proud to be the only financial institution born and raised right here in the Antelope Valley. That means we know what our community needs because we are the community. Whether you're buying a home, starting a business, or planning for your future, we've got you covered with the products and services tailored to your needs. From everyday banking to life's biggest milestones, we're here for you every step of the way. Edwards Federal Credit Union, everything you need right here at home.
When it comes to healthcare, you want all aspects of your care to connect and to work in harmony. Introducing Southwest Healthcare, a comprehensive network of care working together to serve you and your loved ones. Palmdale Regional Medical Center is proud to be a part of this new, expanded system. Our goal is to provide high-quality healthcare services that benefit you, your family, and our entire community. Experience health in harmony today with the new Southwest Healthcare.
We are just moments from the final half of play in the inaugural home opener for AV Alta FC. And they lead the unbeaten Westchester SC squad 2-0 after the first 45 minutes of play. And while we have an opportunity, let's look back at the first half and see how we got where we are to this moment. So an early start here on the fast break. And started here by Jimmy Villalobos. Ends up going out wide here. It's crossed in. A deflection by Pelivanov finds Emmanuel Alaribe. And he gets credit for the goal in the 9th minute of play. An acrobatic finish, just slicing that right past Dane Jacquemin. So 1-0, and then about 13 minutes later, an opportunity here for Westchester, their best chance. It was bounced around. Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. feeding a ball in and unable to get a clean touch. Daniel Bowman, and hands on the head. You have to be wondering if he'll think about that one in the final moments of this match if his team's trailing. And just a few minutes later, a beautiful cross into the box, and no doubter here, Jimmy Villalobos picking up the game winner last match, extending this lead to 2-0, and getting the assist on that pass was Eduardo Blancas. So halftime stats, Westchester actually outshooting AV Alta 9-3, but the shots on target are even at 2 apiece. AV Alta shooting 100%. Possession evened up at 50-50, which makes sense. I mean, AV Alta controlling the ball early on the counterattack, and then Westchester establishing a presence, a passing presence right around the edge of the box, getting a corner kick in which they lead. But 3 yellow cards to none. AV Alta playing with a bit of chipperness. And it's to no surprise. I mean, Brian Kleiben has accumulated 2 red cards in 2 different competitions this year. And Mubumu Alassane also suspended this match for a red card. So heading back to the pitch. Westchester just breaking their huddle. They're dancing, they're hype. It's a side with a lot of veteran experience like that guy, Joel Johnson, hugging Jonathan Bolanos. Bolanos in 17, high-fiving Connor McGlynn. And right now is tied for the league's single-season assist record with 11 back in 2022. So you've got Golden Boot runner-ups, Golden Playmaker winners, experience in net. It's a visiting side that you can never count out. And there's Luca Mastrantonio, one of the heartbeats of this AV Alta side. Again, knows what it takes to win a championship. And him and Miguel Pajaro pointing to their heads, telling their team to lock in. They know this match is far from over. So do we. It's a great start, but we've got plenty of excellent football left to play here. So the select ball on the center circle. And we are underway. And starting with it, Westchester in their white uniforms with blue letters and numbers. Foul on Obregon as he went high on that kick. And their Joshua Green kits with desert sand letters and numbers are AV Alta FC. Going from right to left, Westchester, AV Alta going left to right. And you can see Joel Johnson and Connor McGlynn in those pivot midfield rows, a duo that Dave Carton is excited to see this evening. Defensively right now, not the outcome you want. Those two really have the ability to move play along. No dice there for Samori Powder. Attempt to switch the pitch, knocked down by Alaribe. And here they go on the counterattack. Through ball up to Blancas. And a weakened cross. Affected by an off-balance run, finds its way back with Westchester. And Josh Lill bringing you all the action this evening from Lancaster, California. In case you missed one of the big storylines, Vanny Clark getting to coach in his first American professional soccer game. Right now his side leading 2-0 in wake of the red card suspension of Brian Kleiben. Vanny Clark, the director of the AV Alta Academy, is sitting pretty right now here in the 48th minute. We're nearing the 48th minute. Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. just shunned away by Luca Mastrantonio. Not risking any breathing room for the star forward.
Fans, in the interest of safety, please be aware that soccer balls may fly into the spectator area and be dangerous and cause serious injury. Be alert at all times.
Joel Johnson's cross.
Please inform children Taking your care of these wrists. Thank you.
And a takedown and a no-brainer there. And Trevor Wiseman, our head official this evening. He's shown the yellow 3 times. All of the way of the hosts. Here's Blancas. Back to Robledo, formerly of NYCFC and the FC Cincinnati Academies. Polivanov. Samori Powder. Filling the shoes for Kemar Lawrence, who was a little shaken heading into the New York Pan-Cyprian Freedoms match. Got injured before halftime, unable to go today. And boy, you're missing a presence. Is that ball out of play, resulting in a corner kick. But with the absence of Lawrence, you're missing someone who really works that left line well. And he can kind of shift into an inverted fullback. Really can take part in the attack. So Samori Powder trying to fill those shoes this evening. And the set piece taken. And there is Samori Powder. And with a heavy touch. Not quite able to keep the attack beating. One thing Alta has done so well this evening is retaining possession. I mean, there's times where you'll see them take advantage of the counterattack, but they do want to slow the pace down. Here you can see Villalobos and Osvaldo Ley coming to the ball. Not afraid to run circles around their opponents. Here's one of the more versatile backliners, Polivanov. I mean, we've seen him play left back, center back, right back. And that's the classic build, per se, of a Bulgarian footballer, excuse me. And something Alta really struggled at last time they went up against Richmond. His ball movement in the final third, it wasn't the prettiest sight. They do a good job of cutting through the midfield, as you can see. But then right about now is where they had their struggles against the Kickaroos. But there with the calming presence of Polivanov and easy but quick passes. You're able to have that sustained attack until moments like that. Good job of Robledo to keep it alive. Ley switching it. But whatever the staff did to work with AV Alta, they struggled with it a little bit in the first half against LAFC 2 earlier this week. But tonight, final third passing has been crisp. And cleared for a throw-in. And passing accuracy in the opponent's half at an average of about 72% for AV Alta in their first couple of league matches. And tonight they're already above that at 74%. So you're seeing a calming presence and a great through ball attempt up to Alaribe. But you rather would have a pass like that from a... And if they can continue to pass like this week in and week out, AV Alta might be one of the better possession teams come September. Floated in, header opportunity over the head of Obregon Jr. Here's Bolanos working rapidly. And not even close, right into the 6'11". And we have an AV Alta player down in the box. And it's Kalyan Pelivanov. Took a mean hit to the head, and Trevor Wiseman calling for the medical staff on the pitch. He's grabbing at his head and that right knee initially. And we hope he's able to continue it at full health. Ooh, a non-contact there, no one around him. Going down immediately. You saw Jonathan Bolanos was probably a good 5 feet away from the fullback. Just a sight you don't want to see with non-contact injuries being one of the most stressing sights in all of sports. Again, we hope he's okay and able to continue. Pelivanov up on his own feet. There's Jonathan Bolanos. Waiting for his moment to break out as a playmaker this match. We saw plenty of long ball attempts up to him early in the first half. Not so many as of late. Pelivanov able to walk off on his own power. But you can see him wincing in pain. The fourth official this evening just telling him to hold off for now, as we're about 10 minutes into the second half of play. And Westchester with a total of 11 shots this evening compared to Alta's 3. He'll take accuracy any day of the week over total, as long as you're winning in the match. Otherwise, you're going to want to see that total much higher. AV Alta has been clinical tonight. And again, have done everything with such a purpose, and it's showing here. There's Samori Powder. Long ball attempt up to Bolanos. Bit of hope on that pass. It finds Obregon Jr. Here's Robledo. Right up to the middle. And into the hands of Jacquemin. It's been slim pickings here in the first several minutes of the second half. Quite the opposite of the first 45 minutes of play. They're trying to get Stephen Payne going. They know he's such a threat when crossing the ball in. Here's Obregon. Here's Bolanos winding up, and save made by Aviles. And Westchester finally were able to get Stephen Payne to have a clean cross attempt. And whether that was intended for Obregon Jr. or Bolanos, I don't know. But a great chance here. Very much like the goal scored by Emmanuel Alaribe early in the match. And Bolanos with great contact, but one heck of an extra effort made by Carlos Aviles to keep his shutout going. Set piece looking for Tete. Bolanos in the thick of it, double teamed. Now running here is AV Alta. Alaribe settled it down. Well-timed run, onside, the flag stays down. Here's Cruz. And gives it right away. And great patience by Blancas. On the counterattack as Obregon Jr. goes down. Belivanov not afraid to play a little aggressive with the 2024 first teamer. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Dave Carton knows what it takes to get his team into the match. And he would hate to see his side have a second consecutive slow second half. Again, had a 3-0 lead against Prince-Cyprian Freedoms. And they ended up coming back in the match. It was still a 3-2 victory. But it's a fatigued team trying to make the most of this match. Here's Obregon Jr., a threat anywhere near the box. Trying to fade the defenders. And here's Payne, it's deflected. And out for another set piece.
There's a Toyota of Lancaster corner kick.
And Noah Powder heading over to do his orders. So crowded box. Joel Johnson, Samori Powder in for reinforcements on the backside, as well as Stephen Payne, and somehow launched that one on target. We've seen plenty of shots sail over the crossbar. And Stephen Payne made that one look pretty much effortless. And Prince Sadie set to check into the match. And Sadie spent 2024 with Rhode Island FC and Charleston in the USL Championship. Also back in 2013, actually made his international debut for Liberia in the World Cup qualifiers. See if Sadie can give Westchester that much needed jolt of energy here in the final half hour of play. If you're Dave Carton, you have to look at the match right now as a marathon, not a sprint. There's still time, but you can't rush any decisions. Pelivanov. Inside to Cruz, it finds Lay, and circled back around. Something that AV Alta have done so excellent this evening is limiting attack up the midfield. And they've forced Jonathan Bolanos to play wide most of the times as they work in here for a header attempted for Cruz. That one out past the byline. But if there's a way right now for Westchester to get back in, it's to beat that suffocating defense right in the heart of the pitch. And it all starts with this man right here, Dane Jacquemin, showing frustration, opting to take his goal kick on the other side of the 6. And an awkward stumble there. As you can see, Jacquemin wince. But already in their attacking half. Not wanting to waste precious moments on the build. And a soft pass there by Tete. Hounded by and nearly taken away by Alaribe. And Villalobos, the press is on. And once they look inside to McGlynn or Joel Johnson, it's all out energy from there. AV Alta like sharks in bloody water this evening from the get-go. Not afraid to press that back line. That's where you have to trust your fitness to get back on time and prevent any chances on the fast break. And it's hard to say who's the more conditioned team. One club having more rest than the other. But with no uncertainty, AV Alta has owned the fitness this evening. Adewale up ahead. Found the wrong kids momentarily. Here's Bowman. Powder trying to penetrate that defense. Here's Bolanos. And AV Alta doing such a good job of denying that horizontal movement. Here's Payne, booted away by Polivanov. Again, Westchester, you know, the ball could be with Bolanos, and then it's more of an arcing of the ball, right? No direct movement across the pitch. They're having to cycle it around in a semicircle. Vanny Clark's defensive methods proving to be successful up to this point, as we're just over the hour mark. Again, a sold-out crowd of 5,000 plus this evening. And if Westchester were somehow able to even this up, or even better yet, take the lead, they'd be just the 4th team in league history to start their inaugural campaign unbeaten. A shot by Obregon! Hard to tell there if Aviles had to make a save, or if JCO just missed by a matter of inches. And here's the run by Stephen Payne. Bowman with a nice calm pass. Great onside run by Obregon Jr. Just sails that over that top right corner. Again, something that the Honduran international does so well is finishing. And whether that be 1 foot or 1 touch right inside the 6, we're being asked to finish with precision from the outside edge of the box. All heads have to be on a swivel when JCO has the ball. Looking ahead for both competitions. They'll go up against a couple of USL Championship sides. We'll get to that in a second here. Alaribe inside to Cruz. Alaribe. Shifty. Somehow stays. Cruz deflects that. So offside there. Switches possession. Joaquin Acuna set to take to the pitch for AV Alta. Acuna, the University of Northern Florida standout, and replacing Harrison Robledo. Acuna, an ASUM champ with UNF, ended up being named the tournament MVP, and a member of The A-Sun first team when it was all said and down. 20 goals over 52 matches played at the University of Northern Florida. Coming in for reinforcements late. There's a tifo being shown right behind Aviles' net. What an excellent crowd on hand this evening for AV Alta. And there is the tifo presented by the 6'11". Excellent showmanship from the fans here in Lancaster, California. But Dave Carton knew this would be a tough match. He told me in the days leading up to this game, he knew we weren't going to be welcomed. And it was important not to get caught up in the emotions. He said managing the crowd, the environment, the overall storyline behind this match, it wasn't going to be easy. Acuna getting a touch via Lobos. Shot save made on the ground. Dane Jacquemin refusing to let a third in. Intercepted there by Samori Powder and taken down from behind by Manuel Alaribe. And we've seen several of those from AV Alta this evening. But a great chance created here. It all starts with Joaquin Acuna. He cycled around. Jacquemin having to make a difficult save. Diving to his left. And a yellow card shown for foul and abusive language. And a warning given out to the stadium for the fans to show good sportsmanship. As we have a Westchester player down in the center circle. So what's to come for these two teams in the US Open Cup? Well, it's a couple of USL Championship opponents. As Prince Sadie is good to go. Great to see him on his 2 feet. It's a trip on the road, a short trip up to Sacramento for AV Alta FC. And on the flip side, Westchester, they're gonna have to go a little farther on April 16th up to Detroit City FC, also the USL Championship. Excuse me. It is a USL Championship opponent for AV Alta, but it's actually Orange County. Sacramento FC actually the first opponent for AV Alta, and that'll be in the Jägermeister Cup. So they'll stay in the Golden State for both of those matches. But another road match for Westchester. Again, last time out in the US Open Cup, that has been their only home match of the year. And going on the road to Texoma. And it's important to manage the health of your players, the playing time, because this is the part of the schedule that's the most tough. You have the start of the Open Cup, the Jägermeister Cup here, set to take place in a matter of weeks, and you're just trying to establish positioning in the league standings here early on, especially as a new club. And the next 2 matches for Westchester are also going to be on the road. They'll travel to Richmond, just a matter of days after that match in Detroit. Home matches hard to come by here early on. When Carlos Obregon Jr. works through A little bit of contact. And a shove. Well, if there was a little ice on the ground, I'd say this is a hockey game. But you can't get away with that. Immediate yellow shown. And that was a no-brainer there for Trevor Wiseman. Miguel Pajaro not having any of that ball movement. And Pajaro, the captain, trying to set the tone. For this new football club just north of Los Angeles. Not afraid to let the opposition know that nothing is going to come easy this evening. And collected with ease by Carlos Aviles. Excellent through ball up ahead. Here's Acuna. And he's taken down. And the crowd in disbelief that there wasn't at least a foul called there. They want to extend this match and put Westchester out of their misery. And Bolanos eager to cut inside and denied by that stellar Alta defense. When you talk about identity, something that Vanny Clark wanted to establish. As Palivanov goes down around the similar spot he did for the first time. And number 44 there, so crucial in developing this identity that Vanny Clark's squad, as well as Brian Klybans, wants to establish. Purposeful attack with flair. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. And the roar of the crowd getting louder and louder. And a foul deep in the defensive third. And the first booking to the visitors.
A Paris law firm yellow card has been issued to number 9 for Westchester Coed, Bluen Justin.
Lomenstein into the books. And Miguel Pajaro going down there in the far corner. And substitution here for AV Alta. Ashkenov Apollon checking in for Emmanuel Alaribe. He right now has the game-winning goal. Scoring inside the first 10 minutes. Apollon in 31 matches last year, 3 goal contributions for Central Valley. He's also played in 7 matches for Haiti in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, CONCACAF, and several friendlies as well. So the Haiti international getting some playing time here in the last 15 minutes here or so. Samori Powder, nice move. Using the flanks to his advantage. Here's Bolanos putting the brakes on. Not a lot of precision on those crosses by Bolanos. finding the wrong kids plenty of times this evening. But it might not be so much him as it is this stellar defense that Vanny Clark has put together this evening. Powder. Edge to McGlynn. Little give and go opportunity denied. And Joaquin Acuna chasing. And a quick throw in. Well-timed run. And poked away by Dane Jacquemin. Another opportunity here on the counter. Unbelievable the pace that AV Alta is playing at. Here's Eduardo Blancas. Relentless is a great word to describe this team tonight. Cruz evading, a shot right to the heart of Jacquemin. A bullet pass. Moving quickly up to Bolanos. Trying to knife his way through Cruz and Blancas. Unable to do so successfully. Here's Powder. Dave Carton directing traffic. Cross inside, soft touch. And it would have been a great opportunity for Westchester. A shove thrown by Powder. And I think there was a bit of confusion. We play on as both sides were expecting a whistle there. Definitely getting dicey here late. Header by Obregon and covered up on the ground by Carlos Aviles. Aviles has been stellar this evening.
Each and every one of you. On behalf of AV Alta FC, we thank you for being a part of this historic inaugural match and what will be the first of many sellouts to come.
And it was just announced by the public address announcer at Lancaster Municipal Stadium. 5,433 in attendance for their first match. Inside for Joaquin Acuna and collides with Jacquemin. And Jacquemin catching a bit of the cleat of Acuna. Ends up doing a flip. We hope he's okay. But Jacquemin getting the worst of that contact as we're about 10 minutes away from stoppage time. Nifty actions here. Ashkenov Apollon hoping to put on all the moves as that flag is up for an offside. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. You talk about the meaning of attendance here in USL 1. Again, over 5,000 have gathered here tonight. FC Naples in their home opener back on March 8th against Chattanooga. A crowd well over 4,000. Blumenstein Obregon Jr. floating in and collected. Carlos Aviles flying left and right, up and down. And he has just been one heck of a presence this evening. And from point blank range, one of the best goal scorers in the league. Putting a tricky shot on target. And Aviles finding a way to get to that ball. It can be a little tough, right, with Obregon. You're expecting a hard shot as he just gets his first booking of the evening. It's like in baseball, you're expecting a fastball, you get a slider, a curveball thrown at you. Aviles a little off balance, but somehow gets to the spot. And looking for the shutout this evening. And we talk about the attendance numbers for AV Alta and FC Naples up to this point. Portland Heart of Pines and Westchester as well, welcoming numbers into the thousands for their first home matches. And the flag stayed down, not able to control. And it's so important to see these young fan bases as Blamenstein has that one blocked. And Pajaro pumping his fists. You know, as the saying goes, good offense is going to win you games, but defense wins you championships. Aggressive run by Acuna, and the flag going up there. And a yellow card shown immediately. I don't know whether it's because Trevor Wiseman has a problem with maybe some of the traffic around the stadium or whatever the conditions may be. He has thrown plenty of bookings the way of AV Alta. And the whistle sounding, and Acuna still taking his shot. And just finishing the play. But Wiseman not afraid to go to his pocket. So Eric Ceja coming onto the match. Jimmy Villalobos making way for Ceja. And coming on to face a couple of his former teammates. Miguel Ibarra, who was the team's first ever signing. And Eduardo Blancas exiting to a round of applause, and rightfully so. Recording an assist this evening. And Ibarra, the 34-year-old, and what's really special is he is a Lancaster, California native. And the team's first signing, it just made sense. He's getting some minutes here in the final moments of the team's inaugural home match. Obregon Jr. going down again. And Ibarra getting to compete against JCO and Joel Johnson and Dave Carton. Again, all having that special bond from being part of the Charlotte Independents last year. But Ibarra's that type of veteran player that you look to have a positive impact on the young players. And a team that led the Jacks in assist for 2 years. Scored 11 goals in 84 matches for Minnesota United FC in the MLS. And not too far from here, a former Big West co-offensive player of the year and a first-team Big West member at UC Irvine back in 2011. And it's fair to say Ibarra has left his impact on Southern California. And Aviles just everywhere tonight in the right spots. A wind-up shot! And it seems like Westchester has not had the touch tonight. But even when they have, Carlos Aviles has been there to wave the finger in denial. Herman Makic, the Yonkers, New York native, set to check in on the near sideline. He went to college at SUNY Purchase, leading the Skyline Conference in goals and assists while earning Rookie of the Year honors back in 2023. So Makic coming in for Rashid Tete. Not the result tonight that Dave Carton and company would have liked to see. But again, now they get a great chance to rest up over the next 10 days or so before they head back to competition. Bit of extracurricular contact. Stephen Payne shielding Osvaldo Ole. Sebastian Cruz with the near takeaway. Powder, too much spin on that ball to handle it. And AV Alta will retain possession. Ibada. It's deflected out. And up next for AV Alta, it'll be a date with the Chattanooga Red Wolves on April 12th. Chattanooga has drawn in every single match this year. In theory, I mean, they've won 2 US Open Cup matches. And the most recent, technically a draw, as they defeated Chattanooga FC in penalty kicks. The crowd louder than ever, awaiting that final whistle. Looking to see AV Alta collect their first points ever in USL 1 play. And Westchester never had an answer tonight. They had a couple of close chances, but AV Alta did a stellar job, not only defending Juan Carlos Obregon Jr., but limiting the playmaking abilities of Jonathan Bolanos. And something to look forward to the rest of the way for AV Alta is watching how much they can limit team's production in that middle third of the pitch. Whereas Westchester, I think everyone's excited to see where this team is headed. They have a lot of veteran presence. I mean, guys like JCO, Joel Johnson, Jonathan Bolanos, Connor McGlynn. Speaking of veterans, here's Miguel Ibada. AV Alta not done yet. Jacobin taking an awkward fall on the far side of the 6. And it's just been announced 5 minutes of stoppage time before we're all done here. So while it'll be a week until the next match for AV Alta, a little more time on the hands of Westchester. Play starts here with Joaquin Acuna. Opportunity inside for Sebastian Cruz, turning, facing, and a shot blocked by Samori Powder. And I think he thought Ashkenov Apollon was running to the back post on that deflection, as that ball was spun into dead air. Westchester with one last bit of hope. We have a little less than 4 minutes left to go. Nice reps here for the reserves of AV Alta. And most of the starters still in for Westchester, so you're getting valiant or important repetitions. Balivanov, not the only player giving it to Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. this evening. He'll definitely have a couple bumps and bruises come tomorrow morning. Left-footed shot off target. Carlos Aviles has been stunning this evening. Right now looking to secure a shutout. Emmanuel Alaribe and Jimmy Villalobos stepping up to the plate, being aggressive and scoring the 2 goals for the home side. But the efforts of Carlos Aviles this evening have shone brightly. And Paulon a little shaken up. On April 16th, that's the next match for Westchester in Detroit. So they'll have 10 days of rest before they head back on the road. Much needed rest, as they're coming off of a week of 3 matches. Right now, Vanny Clark, hands are on his head. He wants to see his team finish this match to the final whistle. You always want to give 100% to the very end. But nonetheless, he is a matter of minutes away from his first win as a head coach in American professional soccer. And what a journey for Clark. From the youth ranks in Jamaica to the youth ranks in America. Stepping up when needed, working in conjunction with the staff, these incredible players, to put on an incredible performance this evening. And Westchester going to be handed their first loss in the team's history. 4 games unbeaten with a record of 3-1 in all competitions headed into the evening. And a second place spot in the standings certainly looks to be no more for the road side. Whereas AV Alta, it'll be a slow climb out of the bottom of the standings, but they'll have moved from 13th to 11th. It's baby steps. But tonight, a small victory in a long season, and a new chapter of professional soccer in the Antelope Valley has begun. AV Alta FC record their first league win in their inaugural USL One home opener. And to make matters even more historic, Vanny Clark has just picked up his first ever win as a head coach in American professional soccer. Congratulations to Coach Clark and the rest of the staff on a historic evening in the Antelope Valley. And 2-0 your final. As AV Alta FC pull off the upset at home. And no doubt here, Carlos Aviles, the man of the match. Yes, 2 goals were scored, but a shutout preserved by the 26-year-old veteran who's playing for his 5th team in USL One. He's been around, and tonight his experience showed. We made 4 saves this evening. And Aviles working in conjunction with his teammates to put together the ultimate team performance here at Lancaster Municipal Stadium. 2-0 your final. Highlights and stats coming up next.
Life is about making connections, and AVTA is your way to connect with the rest of the Antelope Valley. AVTA connects you to your friends, your family, local services and businesses, healthcare, even where you work. At AVTA, we make your connections possible. Get on board today. AVTA empowers mobility, getting people where they need to be safely, timely, and cost-effectively.
Toyota of Lancaster's Buy Local and Save sales event is on. Come down today to save big on hundreds of vehicles in stock. Cars, SUVs, trucks, hybrids, and more. We have new vehicles arriving daily. In the market for a used vehicle? Toyota of Lancaster has a massive selection of used and Toyota certified used vehicles to choose from. Drive with confidence in the vehicle you deserve. Bad credit? No problem. Toyota of Lancaster will make your vehicle purchase safe, simple, and fun. Shop online at toyotaoflancaster.com. Toyota of Lancaster. Buy local and save.
Are you wondering who belongs at Antelope Valley College? Let me introduce you to some students.
Dreamers.
Career builders.
Transfer students.
Working parents.
Veterans.
Student athletes.
First-generation students.
In short,
You belong at AVC.
We're here for you, so visit avc.edu and apply today.
Your final from Lancaster, California, 2-0 as AV Alta FC pick up their first ever league win, doing so in dominant fashion at home. And with a crowd of 5,433 in attendance, it was a complete performance from the entire team. Let's take you through exactly how that happened, as you can see the emotion and joy on the pitch from the home side. Well, this one got off to a hot start. In the 9th minute, it's a fast break. Jimmy Villalobos working in conjunction here, a cross in, deflection by Pelivanov, finds Emmanuel Alaribe, picking up his second goal in all competitions this year for AV Alta. And just netting that one in right to the left of Dane Jacquemin from close range. Then about 13 minutes later, it was the best opportunity of the evening. And it started here with Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. and Daniel Bowman was a matter of inches away from hitting the woodwork, and then who knows what happens from there on out, but nonetheless, they miss, and it remains 1-0. Just about 5 minutes after that, Sebastian Cruz working on the fast break, finding Eduardo Blancas, and a cross in one-timer to Jimmy Villalobos, scoring in consecutive matches, proving why he might be the most pivotal offseason signing, not just for this team, but maybe for any team in the league. So fast forwarding to about 10 minutes into the second half, it's Stephen Payne with an excellent opportunity. He finally got going in the second half in terms of passing, and then a wicked save made by Carlos Aviles on the whip from the right foot of Jonathan Bolanos. Then late here, sub Joaquin Acuna keeping possession alive. It was worked around to Jimmy Villalobos, and a great, excellent chance and a save made by Dane Jacquemin. So again, your final 2-0 AV Alta, but the shots were completely owned by Westchester this evening. 18 total, 4 of them making on target, and excellent shooting percentage this evening from AV Alta. 2 goals, 4 shots on target. And there were plenty of bookings that Trevor Wiseman handed out as well. Was not afraid to show them to the home side, as there were 5 of them in total, and 2 of them showed to Westchester as well. Possession, again, not in favor of AV Alta. Westchester controlling much of the ball in the second half, but they just were not able to connect and find the back of the net. And corners dominated by the roadside, unable to see an advantage on set pieces. And again, your final 2-0 from Lancaster, California. In the final match of the weekend, it certainly did not disappoint. History was on the line for AV Alta, and they completed it. And they will host Chattanooga Red Wolves on April 12th. And for Westchester, they'll go back on the road on the 16th to Detroit City FC. Both of those matches, U.S. Open Cup action. The final again tonight, AV Alta FC takes down Westchester SC 2-0 at home. A huge thank you to our entire production team, and for our entire crew, I'm Josh Lill. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Robledo's creativeness finds Villalobos.